You're live.
I'm live. Are you live?
Not yet.
Not yet.
What is your camera appear so much more light?
Hey, Neo. We know you're out there. You're the one. We're coming for you.
We are live.
We are live. And kicking.
So, here on the coast of Brazil, on a island called Florianopolis, in a little beach house, I changed my awakening time from 4:55 to 5:25.
Ooh.
And then at 5:45, an alarm comes on, playing Rage Against the Machine, and it just gets wake up, and it just gets louder and louder and louder and louder and louder and louder for like 10 minutes. And so we're gonna talk about this morning. You know, we were walking down towards the beach, and when we enter the jungle, there is a sign. It's like it's I think it's supposed to be like a wind sock to tell like surfers or whatever which way the wind is blowing.
Right.
And it sticks up through the trees taller than the jungle, and it looks like a man
with a massive erection.
With a massive heart-on. Just like this, you know? And the thing going this way is almost taller than the man, you know? And, you know, here in Brazil, in Portuguese, they have this word called tesão. And it really means like, you could say erection, or you could say turn on, or you could say being horny. But I think of it, I use it to mean like an unmistakable desire, like a physical desire, like you feel it in you. And so, you know, when we go to enter the jungle, we pay homage to the, you know, to the great man of Tesao before we enter the jungle on our way to the ocean.
Some may have seen it on my Instagram.
And
featured a couple of times.
Today it wasn't there.
He's gone.
He was gone. He had fallen, he had been taken, and...
probably by a politically correct movement, since you got to take him down.
Yeah, maybe by some feminists. I don't know. And anyway, he was gone. And it made me think of our brothers who are out there who've lost their tesão. Like lost their heart-on for life.
Their zest.
Their zest, their you know, and it's a great metaphor.
Yeah.
You know, it's a great metaphor.
He's gone, or
well, hard on for life.
Right.
You know, like a lot of guys, they're not turned on by the world they're living in, by the life they're living, and they try to make themselves happy.
Right.
They try to
deal with it,
cope with it somehow.
Yes.
Let me get through the day. Let me be positive. Let me get motivated. You know, let me try to get hard. You know, like when you're with a woman and you think, well, I should be excited for her, and you're not. You're just not.
The penis never lies.
And you can try to make yourself be excited for her. Like a lot of guys are like this for life. You know, let me try to motivate myself for the life I'm living. Well, consider, like, if you don't fucking have this energy for life, maybe it's the wrong life.
Yes.
Maybe the life that you're living is not the life that you're meant to live.
Right.
And instead of trying to motivate yourself, try to indoctrinate yourself, try to get yourself to do something that you don't want to do, which is live the life that you're in right now. What if you trust your body and go where you're alive, and let that create your new life?
Yes.
You know, I think of men who could be on the other side of divorce or some kind of massive business failure or something, and you know, and who have an opportunity to just start all over again. But really, everyone, to a certain extent, is in that situation.
Do you think that I think the concept of Tesao is great. I heard it first from you, and I thought it's fantastic. Do you think that men are losing their Tesao, or do they stop listening to it? Do they not cultivate it anymore? Like men say, the man that's out of the divorce. In your experience working with men, are they still in touch with it and like ignoring that? Or?
Well, I think we start losing touch with it from the time that that we're born. In a culture, in a civilization that is training us to be civilized.
Right.
You have a desire to go climb a tree, but it's not. That's not part of the teacher's agenda.
Right.
Right. Stop. Hey, wake up. In a world where wake up means don't dream, right?
Yes.
Don't have your desire to do what you want to do. Pay attention to what some external authority wants you to do. In the same way that we lose touch with honor, which is, you could say, your heart on, HEART on. Your desire, think of it as your heart on, right? Or your unmistakable physical desire, or your sexual desire for life. Both of those things are not convenient for civilization,
Right.
for order, for your boss, your teacher, your parents, so on and so on. So reclaiming this is something that is, it's taboo in a way to actually really ask yourself, what do I really desire? I know for
Right.
me to
And I just think of the conversation I had with Frank yesterday, a friend, and we're just talking about. I'm just asking him now, but what do you really want? He's with a woman, and I say, what is it that you really want? And it's like he cannot even answer the question anymore. And the first thing that he says is she would not accept that. And I say, what would she not accept?
Yes.
But it's not even.
can't even speak it.
Can't
even speak it. Yes.
What is it? If you knew you were a success, what would it be that you want? If you know that accepted anything that you want, what would it be? And it's like that exercise is one that
it was a long journey for me to really, on a regular basis, like face what I want, what I desire, not what I want. I think of want is like a lacking. I'm wanting this. I'm without this. But a desire is the opposite. A desire is a having.
Right.
I have this desire. Like when you have a physical or sexual desire, it's really something you have, right? So
Before you go on, I want to say, Frank, much love. I'm just using it as an example. He's great.
yes.
He's a great man.
But it's a challenge for most of us, I would say, to really, because how convenient is it? Even in a relationship, we hide our desire oftentimes because it could cause trouble. It could shake things up.
Yes.
Maybe she'll get upset, so on.
Hey, we hide our erections.
Yes.
Even the physical thing.
Right?
We hide our erections. It's not
Right.
to be shown,
Right.
Man of endless desire gets taken down.
Yes. Yes.
So how do you...
Yeah, and I don't think it's any coincidence that this is actually a physical thing that many men deal with, the difficulty or inability to get an erection. And then they're trying to get it back.
Right.
They're trying to motivate themselves. They're trying to make their physical body be turned on to a woman or a life or an environment that does not turn them on.
Right.
And it was one of the, you blurted this out a bit ago, but that's something that was that he taught me, full of laughter, but he taught me. He said the penis never lies.
Right.
And what he was speaking to was, and for me it was magical, because there were women in my life who I think, well, she's beautiful, she's this, she's. Why am I not like physically showing that I'm like feeling this attraction for her? Like I want her, right? I don't have her. She's beautiful. I want her. Like my ego, my whatever. Oh, she'd look great, walking down the street with her or whatever. But I didn't have that Tesao for her. And so it was this, and I noticed all these ways that I would try to get myself to have Tesao for a woman or for a project or whatever. And so when he said the penis never lies, it's like he was also inviting me to pay attention to what really turns you on.
Right.
And I would notice, like when I'd be in the presence of a woman who she didn't meet whatever standards I had developed for, like, she's a gorgeous woman or whatever. But I'd be like, whoa, how I feel in the presence of this woman. Wow, like there's magic here. Or, there's real, there's something real here. And it opened up a whole new world for me.
Right.
When I started tracking that Tesao inside of myself. And it's part of what opened for me in Africa, and then it was a big part of what led me away from the U.S. and on my journeys.
It's in a way a moving away from, like, say, a performance mentality and a performance anxiety.
Yes.
Am I going to do it well? Am I doing it well by society standards, by her standards?
Right.
And the anxiety that is around that, into, like, relaxing into what is, and this inner guidance that's always there, and then we stop listening, And
that one thing transformed my life. It could transform many men's lives.
What, the penis never lies?
Yep. But hunting the Tesao,
right,
and stop all kind of trying to make yourself be
a certain way.
So it sounds cliche, but who others think you should be.
Yes.
People say just be yourself. That's so cliche, but on the one side is the penis never lies, meaning pay attention to your desire. Don't try to make yourself be turned on or excited for something that you're not like there's a wisdom in your biology,
right,
like your cells are coming alive with a certain woman.
Your body has wisdom,
or yes, or genius,
yes.
Right? Or for a certain project or a certain culture, or like there's real genius there. So much more than this mind, oftentimes.
Right.
That's been trained to think a certain way and to get you to behave in a civilized manner.
Right.
Or to be the good son, father, student, employee, citizen, Christian, whatever. And that one bit of wisdom can revolutionize.
With me, like, be yourself, because I think it's great. Greek gnotiseuton, know thyself, and goes together. And for me, it doesn't mean at all like don't change. Quite the contrary, but that the guidance for your change is that inner compass, that inner guidance, instead of like what society is thinking, how you think you should be, and shape you, because that comes with performance anxiety. Instead, to listen to this and fully hunt that down, try to feel where it is and celebrate that, hunt it down, cultivate that. Yeah, that to me is being yourself.
Yes. Yeah, so those two major guiding forces in my life is Tesao and honor. The heart on and the heart on. Get a heart on for life. That's honor.
Nice.
Yeah. That inner yes expressed in, two very different ways.
What is the heart on then? The heart on. Like if the physical, if the sense, if the inner guidance is that sense of like, hell yes, like I could feel it, I have a desire for this, my body, my full body is saying yes to this is the way, okay? This is the heart on. What is the honor, the heart on then? What sense is that? Is that a physical thing? Is that a...
Yes, absolutely. It's a warmth in the chest that just brings it like a peace. But it also, you feel it, that warmth is like everything's like feels united, Strong. There is a sense of power there, and it is very much like an inner. You feel like affirmed by the path that you're on or by the thing that you're standing for, and it's just how it feels, and it's a real thing. It's a biological phenomenon.
Yes.
And
in America, they use this now also, because in Europe this means a hard erection.
yeah,
That's why I was.
yeah, you could, yeah,
That's why I was thinking it was
right,
appropriate.
yes, yes. So
tell us about the cultivation of that, because, well, maybe either one of them, because if
I'll tell you. Okay, I'll tell you. Here's what I want to tell you about.
You were thinking about something.
When I was in Brazil in 2012, in Brazil, for me, there's just such more an invitation to like, the drum beat and the jungle and the samba and the celebration of life.
Women.
They really know how to enjoy,
Right.
and just.
Beleza.
And in 2012, I was here. I was in Ouro Preto, which is up in the mountains, about an 8-hour drive northwest of Rio. And I'd walk down every day down the cobblestone streets to the little town. And this one day, I walked by, and there was a young woman, standing in the doorway of a jewelry store, and we had a connection. And a little bit later, we came across each other. I think she probably wandered out to connect with me, and I was in I don't know, foods. I mean, I was maybe buying some food or something like this. I don't remember how. Like at some point, I came to talk to her or something, but it came to be like. Every day I would go down to see her, and I remember this one or a few days. I remember this one day in particular. She got a break from her work. We walked up to this lookout spot, and I had, Tesao for her sitting on this bench, and I just went with it. I just let it guide me, and I just really was like. Prowling her through the streets, just like, and I literally had an erection, and I'm not hiding it. and she's like, Michael, pra frente, like so forward, Michael. And I couldn't speak that many words in Portuguese, and I'm like, and I'm like, El te mordo and el te bato, like I'm going to bite you and I'm going to beat you and I'm going to, whatever. And I'm like, and she's so loving it, and she's kind of like shy, moving away and turned on, and we're both, and it's so passionate, and it's like through the streets of this town, and but it was it was kind of like a peak experience of me of just it was a gift to her that I was giving her. All of my tesão.
Right.
And she felt it and she received it, and there was a magic there. Whereas normally that's not how I would operate. Like I think there was a way that I can say like I want a woman, let me do some logical steps or strategies to get the woman and blah blah blah, rather than just being in my body about it.
Right.
There's something so powerful about that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking of all instances of the wild man being guided by that, and how beautiful that is. And yeah, I'm thinking of very personal things.
Yes, but reclaiming that heart on for life and that heart on.
Okay,
for life.
how would a man get more and more in touch with that heart on in the both senses? And I can see the technologies for getting in touch with, say, your honor.
Right.
How about the technologies to get in touch with your Tesao?
Well, okay, so, and this has become kind of a popular thing on life. If you'll hear that hell yes or no.
Yes.
Think of like Tesao or now.
Tesao
Right?
or now.
It really means in Portuguese it means hard on or no.
Right.
Like if you have a hard on for it, it's a yes. If you don't have it, it's a no. So there's no such thing as maybe in
Yes.
this world. You have you like think of it as you have a hard on or you don't. It's a yes or a no. And so all that land of maybe, halfway is a no.
How are there good, better, and worse ways to go look for that Tesao?
Well, you track it, you hunt it in yourself.
Okay.
You begin to notice that physical desire. And when it's not there, you say no to something. So someone invites you to dinner. And, maybe I could come. You feel like a maybe, but you say yes. Okay, you've just, in a way, you violated that principle, right? So the practice is, if I'm a maybe, if I feel like, I don't feel like a hard-on for it, I say no. And if I'm a no, I don't say maybe.
Yes.
So there's two things right there.
So if you're looking for your hell yes, the best place to start, because it will happen, is to look and see which things are not a hell yes. And you say no, 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 until something shows up that's a hell yes for you.
And it's, a lot of guys will be in their head about a hell yes, right? Like there's a way, it takes real practice to distinguish, is this just something that I think I should want, right? Is this, and a lot of times the things that are motivated by your ego and wanting to look good, there's not that real physical desire in it. There's just, there's this lacking that you want to fill by looking good or looking more than you are. And so we chase after that.
So it's nothing less, and it's nothing more than saying, than seeking, and starting listening to that force that's there, or not, and then go look for it, and then honor it, cultivate it. So there's no real constructive force that's needed except feeling it, celebrating it, acting accordingly. So there's no creating. I have a question here. Someone says, can you have Tesao for this and this? And the question itself is a question that comes from a place of not really honoring. It's like, should I have the Tesao for this?
Yeah, it's about not being in control.
Right.
It's
right.
Yeah, and it sounds like a dangerous principle, right? Like
right.
Just following your heart on wherever it takes you. But and I don't just mean this in a sexual sense, but I mean it in the sense of what makes you come alive, right? And what makes you come alive in your body,
right? And
a lot of people, we've shut down our body because it's gotten us in trouble, because our aliveness was too much for our parents. We're running around and we're alive, and be quiet,
right?
Stay in place, behave, whatever. A lot of that training starts very early on in life. And
feel it now.
Yes.
Neo, are you feeling it? Neo, and we know you're out there. We know you can sense something.
But here's a practice. Here's a real practice for a guy when you're with a woman and maybe you want to go to bed with her. You want to have sex with her. But you're not physically responding to her. Rather than trying to make that desire happen, just allow for that your body has an intelligence all its
Right.
own. Your body is saying, right now, right here in this moment, this woman does not make me come alive. So just allow that to be. And the more that you do this, the more you let go all of these trying to be in control with our head, and just relax. Like, this woman makes me come alive, or she doesn't. And when you're in the presence of women who you're thinking, well, she's not the most beautiful or sexy or whatever, just start noticing how you feel in the presence of a woman. And that for a lot of guys, this is, a lot of times we become so detached from our what we really feel in our body, because we're so like in our head about
Yes.
being, our head is in control.
It's very striking to me that both, like, we've been talking about wake up rituals, designing your life in a way with all these rituals. Our whole day is full of rituals. That one of my biggest learnings in those things is, like, if things are not working for you, if you're not, say, waking up with like, let's do this, there's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you.
Yes.
It's your system.
Yes.
It's your system is not so in place that you want to, you're excited
Yes.
to get up. In the same way here is like deferring the agency.
It's
Wait.
Okay.
Is deferring the agency is to the system, and in this, deferring the agency to their own inner guidance that's there. It's in place, like your system is in place or not. So there's not real, like, you don't have to make something happen.
Yes. It's like this. That the morning wood, a guy wakes up with
Right.
an erection. Let's say that
What is
your
that?
morning rituals, they don't give you this in the morning. They
Right.
don't have you full of life
Right.
in the morning. Rather than trying to make yourself be excited about your morning,
Right.
make yourself greet this life that you don't have a natural aliveness for. You can bring yourself to a life, or create a life,
Right.
or a morning that just, you wake up like this.
Right.
For life.
And it doesn't mean, this is what I'm learning, it doesn't mean that everything is at the whim of the moment. Because still, when I get up, those first 5 minutes to me is like, there's a hurdle there I have to pass, But in the grand scheme of things, doing this, and waking up like this and doing these rituals, it is glorious to me, and it makes me come alive. And I know that those first few moments I'm going to feel like, fuck, I'm going to stay in my bed, and it's part of the conquering that makes me come alive.
Yes.
So it's not like, every whim, spur of the moment is
Yes.
dictating what I'm doing.
Yes.
But it does mean that I am looking in the grand scheme of things for my Tesao, my heart on and my heart on. And so I've developed the systems to do that, and I'm guided by that, like, Tesao. What is it telling me? So
Yeah,
that's
it's very-
answering you,
it's-
Nizar.
It's very much not an appeal to, like, what do I feel like doing? It's
Yes.
very much not that.
No.
Which is, and part of that is this, like, we'll have the alarm clock, or we'll have someone say, hey, you should do this, or we'll think that, I committed to do that, and we'll then be reacting to that. What do I feel
Yes.
like doing, right? The idea is that
That's good.
the things in your life that are calling to you, call you to be alive.
Yes.
So that the what do I feel like doing isn't in reaction to this stimulus in your life that you've created, that you're not a yes to.
Yes.
The idea is to have your life designed in such a way that what's calling to you calls to you.
That is the great thing. It's not the spur of the moment, the feeling, that, like, whimsical thing. It's the thing that is calling you in your life, and that's way more something like, it's like this. It's more coming from, like, vision and what you have down the line, and this from here is connecting with it, And so there's the call from that, and this is answering it. So it's not this, oh, I feel like not waking up now. I feel like this. I feel like eating another ice cream. That's not the calling. It's answering a call. That's what the Tesao really is. It's answering the call that's for you.
And
oh man, I want to talk to Neil. Neil, this is the call.
and this is the challenge, because a lot of us have our internal guidance is in a lot of ways internalized external guidance.
Yes.
And this is what I explain inside of my Awakening the Wealth Warriors ebook. And it's a lot of inner conflict. What's the inner conflict is, there's the you that before said you would do one thing, and there's the you that feels like doing something else right now. It's like you're split. And the idea is to not be split, not divide yourself one against the other. There's no life in that.
Right.
And then the compromise that we make is we'll choose one and then lie to ourselves. And it dampens down our aliveness,
yes,
our honor, our power, everything. This is the way that we've learned to deal with external authority. Then we learn to deal that way with our internal authority. And the idea is authority, like a heart authority, is I'm full-hearted in what I desire to do. I'm united within me in
yes,
what I desire to do. And when you are like this, people can see it and sense it and feel it. They want to go along with that.
yes.
Women want to go along with a man who is fully united inside of himself.
You made a big leap there, 2-3 steps, well. And it's like you have this internal guidance, but you internalize an external authority, which means, and this is huge, is that over the years you got external forces telling you what to do, and you make it your own. You make it your own. You think this is how I should be. That's a big force when you have the external authority, say society or what your mom or dad or what women are saying, and you make that your own.
And we'll often develop a persona or a personality type in relation to this internalized external authority. So I'm good. I do what this part of me wants me to do.
Right.
Right.
You're a good boy.
Or fuck that. I'm just rebelling against my own internal authority.
Which is also.
Which both are a compromise.
Yes.
Both are. The idea is to be, and it's not as easy as just saying this, but to be united within yourself, so there's no division. You're not divided against yourself. And when you have that yes. And otherwise you have a maybe, you have a half like this, and the idea is to not be in that maybe land. Do not live compromised.
You'll recognize this, anyone watching, or you'll recognize it when someone says, I want to do this, but I should do this. There's an inner conflict there.
Yes.
William Burroughs said there should be no discrepancy between what you want to do and what you think you should do. No discrepancy, you know, yes. And I think it's beautiful. And yes. That's you have internalized, or you completely own and accept what it is that you want as the guiding force of what you're going to do. And yeah, well, that's a big learning. It's a big learning, but it's also a big task and a practice to, like, I'm assuming, we all have it, I certainly have it, to get rid of that internalized external authority. That's a big challenge. You know, start listening to that internal authority, and like living accordingly.
If you think about that inner conflict, let's say you said you're going to get up in the morning and you don't feel like it. Those two parts of yourself is what it's experienced as. There's not a hell yes to either one. Mm-hmm. You can make yourself get up, or you can go with the lazy feelings and stay asleep. But neither one of them are a hell yes. So the practice is to only say yes to the hell yes. And this is what I've been hunting.
But very confusing, because when I wake up every morning, still, we do it for a month, that first 5 minutes is not a hell yes. I'm not there like, let's go. You know, I'm saying let's go because I know that after these 5 minutes, I'm going to be like, hell yes, I did it. And I know that with time, hell yes, I'm a morning person. So it's not whimsical. It's not just listening to the feeling. There's a whole system in place that makes me listen to my Tesao, to answer the calling that I know I have.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
Yes,
It's not an easy thing.
There's training.
There's a lot of training to this.
Involved. And part of the way that the rituals, the purpose of the rituals, as I hold it, is to eliminate the inner conflict. So
Yes.
you're not appealing to what do I feel like doing. You almost just feel yourself led by the ritual.
Yes.
You feel you're almost in the trance of the ritual and going through the motions. And then as you step by step, it wakes you up.
Right.
But you don't, the ritual is such that you're not stopping to think, what do I feel like doing?
Yes. To me, the journey is one. This is what I'm. Jaco, very much so. I have the same. The journey for me is very much one of starting to listen to my Tesao, really listening to my Tesao, listening to what it is saying, trying to understand it better, you know, acting accordingly. But that is the work. Like, what is this my Tesao or is this my whimsical right now? You know, if I want to eat that sugar or cake right now, is this Tesao? Is this something that really gives me, or is it something that you know? And
yes.
That is the work, and that is the practice, and it's not just a given. Like say, oh, I listen to it or don't. That is the work. Like try to understand what your Tesao is saying. Try to understand what my calling is. What is calling me forward. That is the work. You know, it's not the starting point. That is the practice. That is the training. That is the growing into. So,
yes.
Wow.
So I pray the great man of Tesao may be reawakened, and tomorrow morning we'll find him standing tall above the jungle.
We went looking for it where he should be. Nothing.
He wasn't there.
The women have taken.
Or he was. He's lost in the jungle. So for all you brothers out there who've lost your Tesao, lost your heart on for life, we pray you may find it, reclaim it, recover it, and join us in the quest for your full aliveness, for our full aliveness.
And we'll see each other tomorrow again. Neo, I know you're out there. You're the one. We're coming to save you.
Top in mind. You're not coming.